Hey now, cats, we're back again this week on the Balls from Ellwood show. And with me today, I have a pal of mine. She's a filmmaker, a film programmer, editor, and an incredible asset to the Troma team. Please say hello to my guest, Sabrina Mendoza. How you doing?
I'm good. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. I've always wanted to kind of cut it up with you. So, I thought, well, what better time than now? I got a lot of questions for you, though. So, I'm just going to dive in. Before we get to your, obvious affiliation with Troma and the great Lloyd Kaufman, I actually kind of wanted to know a little bit about you. Where did you grow up?
So I'm born and raised in Astoria, Queens. Born and raised New Yorker. Let's go Mets. All that stuff. Both of my parents are immigrants, so I'm a first generation Hispanic lady. I'm Mexican Ecuadorian, more Ecuadorian than anything. But it's always fun to say that I'm the Mexican of Tromaville, so I'll stick with that. They can't card me with that. It's not some DEI bullshit because I'm fucking white as hell. Besides that, I'm a mom. I have little rats that are running around with me right now. I had to let them
Um,
out loose. That were actually from set from Pop'em, so from
I
Power
was
of
going to
Pop'em
say, is
Diner.
that the ones I've seen on your Instagram from the set?
Yeah, no, I took them home. They're rowdy little girls. I forgot to let them out earlier, so I had to leave them out for now. Also, it'd be fun just to have them running around. But yeah, no, they're the same rats. There's Thimby and there's Betty, and they're running around right now.
That's so cool. You still have those. It's like almost like a memento to all that. That's great.
That and I have a tattoo of them too. I got
Oh,
it
that's
at
right. I
PhillyCon.
forgot.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
that
but I
those
want to.
boxes
I
everywhere.
want to. I definitely want to get to that. I don't know. At some point, you might see my wrinkly bald daughter behind me here running around. I have a Sphinx daughter.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, she's my wife and I's world, man. Like I say, we revolve around. We live here. She just lets us live here.
I felt that with these. Oh my God, as soon as they came, they were annoying. But hold on, let me turn off this light. This might be. There you go. All right. So also, back to me. But yes, I'm born and raised in New York. Only went to high school. Did not go to college. I've been doing film forever. I was a film teacher when I was like 19. I was teaching the youth how to teach, like do movies and stuff. But I was always like more so a documentary filmmaker before wanting. I mean, not. I've always wanted to do horror. I'm through and through always a horror filmmaker forever. Like I walk around with prosthetics all the time. I love horror movies. They are my bread and butter. They are amazing. But
That was actually one of the main reasons I wanted to talk to you because I am so passionate and it's a lifestyle to me. It's not even like a genre at this point. It's like I mean,
it's
my whole
not.
life is revolved around horror. So like that attracts me to talking to like-minded people like you. So I mean, what kind of kid were you? I mean, you were always in the film, obviously, but I like to call it the chasing the dragon moment. Like you love horror. What was that one moment where you're like, holy fuck, like this is what I love. This is what's gonna, it kind of motivate you and jumpstart you into finding that next one, that next one, that next one. Do you have a moment that like you just appears at the top of your head?
I think okay, there are two moments that stick out to me for sure. The first moment was when I got jump scared watching Saw 2 for the first time. So I grew up with Saw. I love Saw. All of
I
the
love
movies are
Saw too.
great. Don't give me shit. Everyone's all like, they suck. It's the best soap opera ever. It is so great.
Even the bad
Um,
ones are good. I mean,
Even the bad ones are good. Are you
and there's
kidding
really
me? It's
not that
like,
many bad ones. I mean, you know what it was? They raised the bar so fucking high that like whenever they started to make ones that were just kind of mediocre, like they seemed worse than they were. I mean, but yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like, oh yeah, it's like, oh fuck it, it's in 3D. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Chris Rock one or the Jigsaw one.
viral. Yeah.
Those are whatever, but like, you know what? It's still Saw. We're still out here. We're still making them, and that's what matters. Like keep that alive. Like if there's anything that I love, it's definitely like I'm not quote unquote millennial nasties. That's what they're calling them now. I'm reading this essay book about rephrasing movies from that time into taking away that they're torture porn and moving them into like a millennial nasty kind of uh like lexicon kind of because when people think of torture porn they think of like Hostel or they think of Saw, obviously, like post
August
nine
Underground, shit
11.
like that. Mm.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. But they're also like forgetting of like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, or like Final Destination. Final Destination is not torture porn. That's
No.
just like its own thing. It's like its own supernatural thing, which I'm very excited for the new one.
Oh my
But
gosh, don't even get started. I was just telling my wife the other day, I can't believe, can you believe that that new trailer for Bloodlines is the second most watched trailer in horror history?
good. Yes,
I
because
can't,
everyone loves Final Destination.
I always kind of thought that was a niche thing, and
Uh,
apparently that's kind of a mainstream thing. So, like, wow, I was fucking shocked as hell. Like, the only thing that's gonna bum me out is the last performance of Tony Todd. I get a little choked up just seeing the fucking trailer. So it's like, oh,
I know.
yeah,
I audibly gasped. I remember I heard the
yeah,
news.
you could
It
tell
was
he was sick when that happened. But like, I'm glad we have something to look back on. In fact, I treasured the time I got to hang out with him because we actually got to hang out with him in like full Candyman outfit with the hook and all that shit. It was awesome. Mm.
That's sick. I love that. I mean, that's what film really is. It's just holding the space and time and like making it immortal, basically. What we
And
do is immortal
he
through
couldn't be a
even
nicer dude too. Like I have to say, such a great guy.
I wish I met him, man. He's what a guy. But
Let me
I'm
ask
actually
you,
gonna see Candyman for the first time, I think next week. I've never
you never
seen it.
seen the original Candyman?
No, I have a lot of blind spots. Like I have a lot of like,
You know what
oh
though?
man.
I'm actually almost envious of that though, because I wish I could like see these movies for the first time again and have that feeling that they gave me. Like that's not a bad thing at all, man. That's great. You got to definitely let me know how you like that one. That's just such a good movie. I'm gonna date myself now because I'm an old ass motherfucker, but I actually seen that shit in the theater when it came out. But oh, such a good flick. But anyway,
Oh man.
I don't want to fucking get up. I want to ask you, like, you're a lover of spooky things like myself. At what age did you actually start getting into horror? It's different
I
for everyone. I was very young. Mm.
I was gonna say, I think I was definitely whenever I think the moment for me was whenever Seed of Chucky came out.
Mm.
Whenever that movie came out, I think I was, and I'm gonna date myself now. I think I was like 8 or 9. I think probably. I don't remember whatever year that came out. But I remember that I saw Chucky for the like I saw like the standout in like the theater that I would always go to, like the local theater I would always go to, and it scared the fuck out of me. I was like, "What is that?" And then I asked my mom, and my mom, an obvious fucking joker, I guess, she was all like, "Oh yeah, it's about a doll that kills people." That happened. That happened. That actually happened. That was real. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? And we're making movies about this?" He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna come and get you."
Oh
And I'm like,
shit.
"Are you fucking serious? This is real?" And I started freaking out about it. And then like my dad was like, "Why would you fucking tell her that? That is such a mean thing." And I was like, "Yeah." And I remember going into Spencer's Gifts and seeing Chucky dolls, and I'm like, "Oh my god, it's fucking happening. It's over." But that's, I think, the first time that I touched upon horror. But I was more so like a Robert Rodriguez gal for the longest time. So like Spy Kids, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then from Spy Kids, my dad was like, "Well, I guess you're old enough to watch From Dusk Till Dawn." And I was like,
Nice.
"You're so right. I totally am." And
Good
then I
taste. Good
fell in love
taste.
with Tarantino and
Fuck yeah,
obviously Robert
dude.
Rodriguez and like Tom Savini and like Juliette Lewis in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Like everyone in that movie is amazing. And I think that movie for me is that and Boogie Nights are the only two movies that I could safely say are the ones that made me want to be a filmmaker,
Oh
for sure.
nice. Those are good choices, man. Holy cow. Well, it's good that we're talking about horror films because I have some horror film related questions for you. What do you feel is the most overused trope in horror at this point? Mm.
Mm. The fucking you know what it is? When films either have to tell me that they're shot in 35 millimeter or they do the 3:4 aspect ratio. I'm like, dog, what are you doing? Like, come on, just get over that. Or like, what else? Oh my god, that's actually a really good question. I would say, not giving away anything in the trailer. Hold on, I'm trying to think of like more modern movies because I saw Hard Eyes. That was a great one.
I love that, man.
I saw
We all love that.
Companion and I was all like, I'm gonna fucking find the writer's house and beat him up. And then what other ones? I don't know. I think that there's some not common tropes. I mean, everyone. has their own, but there's a lot of tropes that I do miss, like really silly editing and like having everything really saturated. That's always fun. I'm a Rob Zombie kid, so like having excess gore is great. That's why I mean the Terrifiers are great, but I see the oversaturation come in that again, which is great because it has so much color, it's so lively. But I think a lot of the times with horror movies that there's not enough color like that. Maybe that's what it is. That's what's missing. But tropes that are like overused, I don't know, probably bringing back bringing back like old cast members that are like, look at this guy's doing this now, like the screams.
I
I've
like
only
the
seen the first
legacy
one.
sequels. Mm.
Yeah, and there's like all that, but that's the point, right? That they're all supposed to be fun and they're all supposed to be, meta and doing their own thing. But um, I've only seen the first one, so I can't really say shit. Uh, but besides that, I don't have any other tropes in mind, really.
How do you think your life would differ had you never fell in love with the genre?
Oh man, I think I would make money. No, I'm kidding. I think I think I would still be a filmmaker. I think I would just take it a little bit more seriously, and I think that's boring. I think I would just be a sellout. I would actually like do like the whole like I'm gonna go to Sundance and I'm gonna make a serious film because like I love Paul Thomas Anderson. That guy is my fucking shit. That guy like there's so many like Scorsese, fucking I mean Hal Ashby, like all of these people that I like grew up watching a lot of, like the framework of like what cinema was in the 70s into the 80s before like horror and all that kind of stuff and during horror and all that stuff. But I mean like straight to video is what I mean. But I would have been like a real probably like done like dramatic stuff, maybe go into comedy. I don't know. I don't know what I would do, but I know for sure that I was put on this earth to make movies, no matter what they were. That's a fact. I fall in love with this craft and I just love the fact that I get to play around with blood, and that's great.
You love scary things. I love scary things. What legitimately frightens you in real life?
Mm. Oh my God. I have an irrational fear of things coming out of the TV.
Hmm.
I
Is
think
that
because
from
of
like The Ring or
yeah,
Demons
I think
2?
because of the ring. I can't watch the ring. I can't. I'm too
Demons
scared.
2, did you ever see that? It's kind of the same thing.
For what was it?
Demons 2,
No, I have not.
like, what was it, Baba? The first of, oh, dude, those first two are incredible. But
I
if you
have
have
to
a
see
fear of,
them.
if you have a fear of shit coming out of the TV, you're going to shit your pants.
That and like I still want to see Videodrome, but like
Oh,
Videodrome, but like
Videodrome's
I
great.
haven't.
I love Cronenberg so
But
much.
like things coming out of the TV, genuinely scare me. Another thing that genuinely scares me is when people are too close to the edge of the like getting onto the subway
Oh,
specifically, because it's like also like I mean, Final Destination, you're like one fucking thing and it's all over. It's done.
it's funny you
Like
say that. One of the most disturbing things that come to mind when you talk about that is, do you watch do you watch Asian horror?
a little.
Did you ever see Suicide Club?
Yes,
Remember when they all jump into the fucking subway? I was like, holy shit.
best opening for a
Anytime
movie.
somebody mentions that, that's the first thing that pops into my mind.
Great
So,
start of a movie that like turned out a little bit boring, if I remember. I think that was the most
yeah,
exciting
they
thing that
kind of blew
happened.
their wad in the first 5 minutes, but I mean, yeah, overall, I still kind of dug it. But
It's
yeah.
worth it. Yeah, exactly. That shit is still one of the best openings for sure.
What was your biggest inspiration horror-wise growing up as opposed to now? Has it changed or is it still the same? Mm.
Yes, I would say, hmm. I think I think what's interesting is my own. I mean, everyone has their own personal take in horror. I grew up with a lot of like, obviously, like Rob Zombie, Eli Roth, Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez. Um, who else? A lot of those guys. So a lot of like in snuff films. I watched a lot of snuff films, but I'm basically an internet kid. Like I grew up on the internet. I remember watching like One Man, One Jar. Like I remember like real, actual harmful things on the internet that I would always see. And I think that what's interesting is that that's what really inspired me to make movies because I want people to viscerally feel that feeling as to questioning like what is real happening in front of you. Is it scripted? Is it not? I mean, you look at like August Underground, if you know that.
Yeah,
And you know the
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. I'm not a fan of that shit.
me either. I fucking hate it, but
I think it honestly kind of gives our genre a bad name. And I've
interesting.
met that dude before, and like he's so not, understanding about like people not liking that stuff. Like, and like I feel like I love it so much, and I've grown up like I don't know how it was for your generation, but when I was growing up, if you liked horror movies, people kind of looked at you like you're a piece of shit, and or else you're
Yeah,
white trash or this or that. And now it's such a like a mainstream thing. It actually kind of makes me jealous, like because like I
very much
used to
so.
get picked on and fucked with all the time, and then now everybody loves the shit, and like I feel like that's kind of like a blight on horror. Like that to me doesn't really take a lot of talent. Like I like atmosphere and suspense and tension and fucking so many different things. Like, all the way down to the music, the score, everything. Like every little intricate thing in horror all comes together to make this perfect thing. And I just feel like somebody just doing a cheap fucking shock movie like that. I mean, it's kind of pointless unless there's an underlying point. Like let's
Yeah,
just say like Herschel Gordon Lewis, like he did shock, but there was a fucking point. Like so
yeah,
that makes sense to me, and that doesn't offend me at all. But when you're just doing that, because that just tells me you're kind of like a lazy writer or just a fucking your
yeah.
heart's
It's like I just wanna. I have all these special effects in mind.
yeah.
I'm just gonna do them, and I'm gonna make it look real.
I don't
But
like
the thing
shock for the sake of shock. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
shock
it's
for a
shock. Yeah,
point's
it's
fine,
not.
but it's
Yeah,
just like
I'm not a fan of those movies. I can't get through any of them, but I use them for a lot of research for when I am because I was writing a movie about, it's called Cherry Dolphin, and it's a movie about like a Nepo baby kid, basically. Like this big head producer has like this like film kid that just came out of college and is like looking for a job. And he's like, "Oh, you want to work in the industry? Okay, cool." And he puts him on a snuff film. Like he puts him on
oh
a snuff
shit.
set, but the kid thinks that it's a low budget horror movie the entire
It
time.
doesn't realize shit's really going on.
Yeah, so
That's
I had to
brilliant. I
put a
like it.
lot of work into like watching that stuff. Even though like I already watched like Serbian film was a big rotation for me. I really, oh my God, I love the human centipedes. Those are fun. The second one is ridiculous, but you know.
I'm gonna tell you I'll tell you this story, and all my friends all my friends think I'm nuts, man. I watched a Human Centipede. I made my mom like a homemade casserole, and she came to my apartment at the time, and we watched Human Centipede 2 together. Because like my mom is like the biggest horror fan, and she never was growing up. When I was young, I used to drag her to every fucking Jason and Freddy Krueger and all that shit, and she every karate movie. And then once I moved out, I think she realized like fuck, I think I'm a horror fan. So like all she watches now is like fucking horror. Like she has MS and she's bedridden, and she watches more shit than I get to watch. Like I'll talk to her and she'll be like, "Did you watch blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "I haven't had a chance." And then she tells me, "Oh, it was really good," And I'm like, "Wow, I wish I fucking had that kind of time." But yeah, it's funny. But yeah, that's what I yeah. Everyone's like, "You watched Human Centipede 2 with your mom?" I'm like,
That's so funny.
"Yeah,
I'm
she
jealous.
liked it. We
I'm
liked it."
That's so awesome, and especially that movie too, because it's very like mom centric. That's like saying like, oh yeah, on Mother's Day I saw Mother's Day with my mom.
Well, it's
Like
funny
that's
too, because like she hasn't been out of the house in such a long time. Like, she really wanted to see Terrifier 3, so like I loaded her up in the wheelchair and I took her to the theater and we watched Terrifier 3, and all these people were walking out because they couldn't take it. My mom's like, "Why is everybody leaving?" And I'm like, "It's too much for him." She's like, "Pfft, seriously?" Yeah,
pussies. Yeah,
yeah, like what a bunch
exactly.
of pussies.
That's funny, dude. Oh my god, she sounds awesome. I would.
Oh yeah, she is. She's really really great. I'm very lucky to have my mom still. But let me ask you this: you've been around the convention circuit quite a bit, and you've met a lot of famous, horror actors and people. You don't have to name names if you don't want to, but if you did, obviously it'd be more interesting. But who amongst is the nicest and crankiest celebrities you've met in horror? I have, my opinions, but
Hmm. I hmm. See, that's the thing is that I'm not actually like a convention person. I actually went to my first round of conventions this year or like last
oh
year, I
really? I
think.
didn't know that. Hmm.
Yeah, I never was a convention person, but I worked for Tribeca Film Festival a lot on the red carpet, so I would meet a lot of like celebrities doing interviews on red carpet stuff. Um, so Oh my God, what is like the nicest person? I think the nicest person was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No
Not
shit.
a horror actor, but he was like the swellest, sweetest guy.
Well, he was in a zombie movie with Abigail Breslin, so I'll give you that.
Oh yeah, was it Maggie? Is
Yeah.
that that's the one that I was covering.
No shit.
That's the film that I was covering at that time.
It actually wasn't bad. I actually kind of liked that one. Yeah.
I wanted to see it. I was like, oh, good for him that he's doing this. But
I was excited just to see him do horror. Well, I mean, End of Days could kind of teeters the line of horror.
that's fair. Yeah, I need to see that. That was also on a list last year. My boy and I, we have a horror list where we make like obviously
Oh,
every
that's awesome.
October we do a fucking thing.
Nice.
This year's or last year's theme was holidays.
Oh,
And
cool.
End of Days was going to be our New Year's one because it takes place on New Year's.
That's a good one. New Year's Eve
And I
one's
wanted
pretty
to do
good
that one.
too. Hmm.
But in terms of like someone that was like really nice to me, I would say and I'll say this, I'll prefix this. Hero for me, not that great in general, but Eli Roth was really cool. I loved him. He was a really nice guy when I met him. Also met him through Tribeca. He was having like a Crypt TV thing, and then afterwards, I was doing a red carpet. I had to run in the rain with all this gear to the screening, all the way on the other side of like Manhattan, basically. It was like 10 blocks, basically. And I'm running in the rain. I'm like, I gotta meet Eli Roth. I have to ask him a question. And I did. I asked him one question, and then I came out, and then I was like, hey man, I asked you that question. And he was like, that was a really interesting question. And I forgot what it was. And then I was like, hey man, I'm such a huge fan. Like, can I like take a picture? And he's like, yeah, sure. And we take a picture. He looked coked the fuck out, which was awesome. Bloodshot eyes. He was all like, yeah, no, this is great. Oh, you want to take a picture? Whatever. Yeah, I'll send you the picture after this. You could see it in his eyes. You're like, what is going on? And um, and then I pitched to him, and I was like, I have this crazy idea. Can you like? I know like this. It's like I know you're gonna like hear a billion pitches or whatever, but like, would you be interested in this? And then he was like, oh my God, yes. Can you send that to? I'm gonna give you here. And then he went like he literally went like this, like all fucking Italian like. He went like this. A lady came over. She was all like, I'm one of the producers of Crypt TV. What was your idea? Give me your email. And I'm like,
What?
I'm fucking like 17. I'm like, what is going on? Please. I don't know what to, I don't have I was like, what? It was all happening too fast. And then it didn't go through because obviously Crypt TV didn't become anything, but also the thing that I was pitching was supposed to be a live show, and they thought that I was pitching it as like a short, and I was like,
Oh, I
it's
see.
not a short. It's like you would put this on like Facebook Live and all that stuff. But it didn't go through. But he was very nice to me, and also Lloyd Kaufman was very nice to me the first time
Oh
I
my
met
God, don't even get me started. I could talk about Lloyd. I've been following Lloyd around like the Grateful Dead since I was honestly probably in seventh grade.
him. That's awesome.
I have so many pictures from over the years, and it's kind of depressing sometimes because then I see progressively how much I've aged. So, but I mean, it's always nice. But Lloyd doesn't ever look like he's fucking aged, man. He
Oh
always
yeah,
looks
no.
good, and then I'm like, look at me. I fucking am fatter. I'm older. I'm balder. But I mean, hey,
No,
let's
but the
get to the
spirit's
meat
still
here.
there.
Sabrina, let's get to the meat here, man. Oh,
Mhm.
you didn't tell me who you think was probably the crankiest. You don't
Oh,
have
the
to.
crankiest?
Yeah. I mean, if you
Ooh.
want to. I know a lot of people are weird about dropping names, but I mean, I'm
No,
not saying
I
that they're
don't care.
bad
It's their
people. I'm just
fault.
saying they maybe might.
Don't be cranky then. I don't know
I
what
could
to do.
tell. I could tell you mine. Jeff Lieberman, the dude did Just Before Dawn, and
Oh, really?
he did Satan's Little Helper.
Why was he being a dick?
He was such a fucking dickhead.
Oh, I know one person. Okay,
He is the
yes.
biggest dickhead I've met, and I've been going to conventions my whole life. He was so fucking mean to me that like I never could. I love his films. I can't fucking watch them anymore because it fucks with my head. Like
Really?
yeah, yeah, I had such a bad experience with him. Like I had all his shit, man. Like I've been collecting stuff since I was a kid, so I had everything on his table. And he's like, "Don't you want a picture of me directing a film?" I'm like, he probably thought I was bullshitting, but like I actually had all the shit on his table. I'm like, I already have that. And he's like, "What about my super fuck me edition of Just Before Dawn?" I'm like, just got it a couple weeks ago. What about this? I got it. And then he's like, oh yeah, you're not gonna get anything. You're not gonna buy anything. I'm like, well, I kind of have it all. And he's like, oh, big fucking fan you are. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. I was
Yeah,
like,
big
really?
fucking fan. I bought all your shit, dick. What
Yeah.
the
And then
hell?
he fucking then and I'm like, well, then I'm like, I should have just left. But the fanboy in me is like, well, I should at least get a picture with this fucker. So I get a picture with him, and he puts his fucking arm around me, and he starts like punching me in the fucking head.
Oh
Like,
my God.
and I even have the picture, and I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude's deal? So like after that, I was like, you know what, fuck this guy. Like
Dude.
and I really love both of those movies, but I can't fucking watch them anymore. But that was
No,
my
fuck
worst.
that guy. That's
I've
so.
had way more good experiences than bad, but I have about five that really stand out, and that was amongst the worst. But let me hear yours. Hmm.
I think, I mean, she's not a horror icon by any means, but I remember talking Tribeca. I remember, so the program that I do, I shoot and edit for a company called Kids Access
Hmm.
that only does it once a year. It's just like a freelancing thing. They adopted me when I was like 14. I've been
Oh,
doing this
nice.
shit forever. And we had a red carpet with two kids. One kid that was not out yet, but one of those kids you're like, oh, that kid's gonna be gay as soon as I come, when they start realizing it. But like, really loved this drag queen. Oh, what the fuck is her name? Trixie Mattel.
Hmm.
Trixie Mattel, if you don't know, is like this country star drag artist that like big hair, trying to be Dolly Parton, very like crass, funny humor, like all that stuff. She was really big like 5 years ago. Sorry, Trixie, but like she was really big back then, and we were on the carpet for her documentary that was coming out. Now the thing was that we were the only people that wanted to actually talk to her. We were the only kid, like there was two kids. One was a really huge fan. I was also a huge fan. And we're sitting there and everything else was pictures. We were the only news outlet that was there that wanted to talk to her. And she looked at the kid that really wanted to talk to her and said right in his face, said, "I don't talk to kids." And then walked away.
You
And
s-
I was like,
really?
what the fuck? And then it goes even deeper because then a picture comes out of her on Twitter of like her saying, "Oh, I don't talk to children." And then the photographer that we had at the time took a picture of both of the kids disappointed at the other end of the I'll send you all of these pictures, but like at the end of the red carpet, you could see her in the distance and then the kids just looking like all pissed.
Dang.
And then we texted it to her, or we replied to her on Twitter, and we were like, "Yeah, we know you don't talk to children." And then she got shamed like all the way down. It was ridiculous. No, and then we
Good.
tried talking to her. We're like, "Come on, Trixie, like there's people we want to promote your movie." And she's like, "I don't want to fucking talk to them. I don't give a shit. I don't really fucking care about this anyway." And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, fuck you. Never mind." So fuck her, fuck Trixie Mattel,
Yeah,
and fuck that guy too.
what a
What
con.
the hell? That's
Ah,
mean.
well, that was a good one.
To a child. The
Yeah,
kid
who
is like
does that to a
9 years
kid, man?
old.
Yeah, I mean, especially at such an impressionable age,
Yeah, it's like
that
what the
could fuck
fuck?
you up for life. But anyway,
The kid was gonna be gay and now he's gonna be homophobic. It's your fault. All
yeah,
right,
that's
no,
what I mean.
sorry, go on.
All right, let's get to what's your favorite horror films and least favorite horror films?
Oh, okay. Fuck. Oh my god, favorite horror film? It has to be From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn. Hostel. 100% Hostel. I'm gonna watch this episode or I'm gonna promote this and I'm gonna be like, fuck, why didn't I say that one?
I always
Devil's
do that.
Rejects. Devil's Rejects, I think, is the best by far, bar none, the best American horror movie of the past 20 years, 100%.
I I I I can't. I'll take up the whole show if I even get into this, but I'll have to tell you off the air. I have a very rocky relationship with Rob Zombie. I used to love him. I used to worship the dude. I bought all his shit since I was fucking in middle school. I always thought he was like the coolest fucking dude ever until I talked to him.
Yeah, it's one of you never meet your heroes. You just simply
That's
don't.
what happened. I was complimenting him, and he got so incensed by my compliment that he proceeded to rip me a new asshole. And it
Oh
broke
my
my heart to the point where I'm like, you know what? I can't fucking even, yeah. I,
no, that's
yeah,
oh
like
my God.
I was actually contemplating him because like I feel he's an incredible director. I don't feel he's a good writer, in my honest opinion.
Well, he's one of those that needs to put the camera down now.
I
It's
think
like,
he
all
tries
right,
to like emulate Tarantino a little too much, but that's my
yup. He's like,
opinion.
I literally he struck gold with Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses,
I think
and
Sid Haig had
then
a
it
lot to do with
kept
it too.
going, and it's
I
like,
love Thousand Corpses. I love Rejects. I even like what's the one with the record?
yeah, I was gonna say, fucking Lords of
Yeah,
Salem.
Lords of
Lords of
Salem.
Salem
I
is
think is
great.
really because I'm a fan of Italian horror, and that was like his homage to Italian horror. I thought that was really well done, and it. Yeah, but you know he has like this kind of like redneck like you know how he writes. He kind of writes like kind of rednecky and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
Like,
very like yeah, like a modern
and when
Americana.
you
I would
think
say.
about it,
Yeah.
House of a Thousand Corpses is essentially Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 in some way,
Oh
or a
yeah,
lot of ways. But I don't think it's a bad thing. But I was like,
he's an
wow,
amazing movie.
he's writing, in his writing style, I think he was attached to do a remake of like one of my favorite old movies, Motel Hell. Did you ever see that?
I have a DVD of it. I have not seen it yet.
He was attached to do a remake. And I'm like, wow, that's like right up this motherfucker's alley. Cause like that would be perfect for him because he's kind of into that kind of, writing style. And he kind of, a lot of his movies deal with like kind of those kind of characters. It couldn't be more custom tailored for this dude. All I said was, I even read it in like a horror magazine. I think it was like fucking Rue Morgue or something like that. And I was excited, like as a fan. I'm like, and I messaged him on Twitter and I was like, hey man, I heard you're attached to Direct Motel Hell. I couldn't think of a better person to do that. I'm super excited for it. And this motherfucker writes back to me, goes, he goes, I think the thing you should be more excited about is when you don't spread malicious rumors about people that's not fucking true. And
What the fuck?
I'm like, I'm like, what? So then me and him start going back and forth for like fucking 15 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck Rob Zombie. Fuck this
Honestly, the
motherfucker.
fact that you got to do it back and forth with him, that's
I
awesome.
know it's funny
I
because when I
gotta
tell the
say,
story to my friends, they're like, dude, that's fucking awesome. I'm like, it isn't when he breaks your fucking heart because you love the fucking asshole.
true. But
Like,
good for
but
you for standing up for yourself, man. Like, good for you.
yeah, really, it still to this day bothers me. And I was like, man, I used to love you, but like, whatever,
It's like,
it's
yeah. I mean,
whatever. But,
also, I mean, I feel the same kind of thing I feel about him, the same as like Kevin Smith. Like, again, huge Kevin Smith guy.
me
I'm
too.
like, he's a great guy. He's doing great. I'm so glad that he's alive. I'm so glad that he's doing stuff. But let's put the camera down. It's not, you're not in the 90s anymore. Put it down. I'm sorry. Like, it's not working out. Like, I'm sorry, but when I saw the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, I was going to like burn down something. I was
I'm gonna
like,
be honest with you, man. That's I love him. Like, I mean, I love this motherfucker. He's so much part of my life growing up. We just
man,
went to see him. Went to see him in Muse. He had like a like a one man show, and it's always great. I always go, and I love seeing him. But you can't ignore the elephant in the room. Like after Zach and Miri, dude, he had a fucking like just shit after shit after shit after shit after shit. I'm like, man, I'm like, fuck, I hate to say it, but is he gonna be a hack? Because like, I don't think he's ever gonna make another fucking good movie again. And but I have to say, I did, and well, that reboot is so fucking terrible too.
that reboot, I was like, I'm going to. But that's the thing is that like the reboot sucked, and then I saw Clerks 3, and I cried like a baby
I
at the
like
end.
Clerks 3.
I liked it. I loved it.
I'm like, maybe he does have some more good shit in him. But then I was like, and then I think about Cop Out, which sucked, Yoga Hosers, which sucked.
It sucked. Yep.
I'm in the minority, but I hate Tusk. I thought that sucked. I
Really, I loved Red State more. I loved the Red State
I
movie.
didn't I didn't hate Red State, but I didn't love it. Like I sort of feel like if it kind of focused more like on a tonally a little better, because like it turns into like four different genres of movies like in one movie, and like that always kind of is a pet peeve of mine. But it wasn't bad. I mean,
Hmm.
but yeah, but it's just like, man, is he ever gonna do it again? But like, I mean, him doing Dogma 2, I'm hoping for the best, and I know he's doing another Jay and Silent Bob.
I don't know what
Oh, that's oh, you know what? Did you see? My wife just reminded me. Did you see the 4:30 movie? That was actually pretty good.
I did not. And I feel like if I watched it, I would be like, okay, this is not for me. This is for like a younger
You
generation.
know what though? Like I sort of kind
But
of
I
felt
would, I would,
that
I would
way.
love it.
But it's kind of like it kind of was good because like if you're a lover of film, the whole movie is kind of like his love letter of how he got into being a filmmaker. So like I mean, it kind of resonated with me for that reason. And but I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was pretty good. Like I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll see it.
I'm crossing my fingers that these new ones will be good too, because yeah, dude, he had such a fucking like string of fucking stinkers. I'm like, oh man, this dude that I love and revere, is he really ever gonna pull it off again? But I'm glad. Good. Let me
I'm
squeeze
set
a
for the
couple
night,
more in
man.
here, and then I can kind of wade into the trauma stuff here. But have you ever been to a horse set location and you got you know weird vibes that something was going on? Have you ever had a supernatural experience? I think is what I'm trying to ask you.
Uh, Burnbrae on Power Positive Murder,
That's
100%.
real. I've heard people talk about it. Like there was really some weird shit going on.
There was real shit. Like I was joking about it. I remember I joked about it twice. There was two. I'll give two instances where I was like, holy shit. One of them was actually caught on camera. The other one, uh, actually three things. Oh fuck, I totally forgot about the. There was an unmarked grave. We can't. I mean, I could talk about it, but like there is an unmarked grave in the woods, in the wooded area of the property that we went and we visited before we started shooting, and that was creepy. And then
Hmm.
we also found in the field after like a loose memory card. Like there was someone that left an SD card in the grass in the case. And we checked it. We were like, it's gonna be fucking. We're gonna be cursed. It's over. It's like day one of us showing up to set in rehearsal, and we found this fucking SD card, and that's on foot. That we got the camera footage for that, I think, and there was nothing in it. There was nothing in it. Nothing happened. But the one actual true ghost thing that actually did happen to me was during the day. A lot of time people think it's happening at night. It was during the day this time. It was really fucking creepy, and I remember it really leveled me out. I was like, holy shit. And there was other people in the room with me, so I am vindicated in this. And I'll drop their names too, because they will back me up on this. This is fucking real. So anyone that I say I drop their names on this, they will fucking vindicate this. They will validate this because this is real. This happened during the day. This ghost experience. I would say it was a moment. It was a weird moment. I will say this, I did interview the people that own the house. I talked to the groundskeeper. It is 100% real. That shit is spooky. They have some real shit in there. They have the original Amityville house lamp. They have like the blue lamp that's in there. They have it. It's I think in the movie. I'm not
Dude, I
sure.
wish I would have known that. I would have loved to seen that.
No, yeah, it is scary as fuck. They have like a haunted spittoon thing. It is real. It's 100% real. These people are not fucking around when they talk about that this is haunted. But so
Jeez.
this happened in the day. We were shooting well, they were shooting something in the basement. So there was the porch that was outside of the main house. Underneath that was like this kind of like laundry room-esque thing. In the movie it's the laundry room, but it is also a laundry room. Um and underneath the porch, it's obviously wooden, it's whatever, but it's in the front of the house. Everyone's down at camp. I'm in with Bergio, the woman that played Muscle Mommy Mona, Annalisa something, I forget her name. And I think Garrett was there, I'm not sure. But Valentina Slink Skull, was the costume designer. She was in the house on the floor laying down drawing, and nobody else. We were the only people in the house because everyone else in the crew was down in the basement. And then we're watching the footage of the bar fight that happens in the movie, and we're looking at it. We're watching it. Everyone's standing still. Nobody's making a move. Nobody's doing anything. Nothing's happening. We get on the radio. Somebody, Allison, the AD, she's on the radio and she goes, "Guys, whoever is stomping upstairs, you have to stop." And we were like, okay, probably there's someone outside. We go check outside. Nobody, nothing. Nobody on the porch, no one on the other side. I'm like, okay. I go on the other side I'm like, oh yeah, tell whoever is walking around, just don't walk around anymore. And we're like, okay. No one's in the house. I'm like, oh, all right, we're good. Whatever. We're like basically standing in the same spot, watching the footage, not moving, whatever. Because they're like, oh, if we make any sudden moves, they're going to hear it. So we're standing, we're doing nothing, whatever. And then Allison comes running and she starts like right to us. She's like, guys, we're fucking filming downstairs. If you guys don't stop stomping your feet all across this thing, like I'm gonna lose my mind. Like we told you guys multiple times, Alex the sound guy could hear you guys stomping your feet going up and down. And we're like, Allison, nobody has moved. There's no one around. We just checked. There's nothing going on. It was the weirdest thing. And I have the audio for it. And it's very faint, but you do hear like steps of like that kind of.
Hmm.
If you could hear that, I don't know if you did. But like kind of like that, but it's not as prominent because obviously they were mic'd on the actors. But that was I was like, no, we checked. That nothing of that happened. Also, my shoes went missing. My shoes went missing for like 3 days. And what I would do is because I was doing a lot of I was brought on to be the behind the scenes person. I was the head of the behind the scenes department, and then I moved up to being the second AD as well. But um, they at the time, I like what I would do to kind of get all the juicy moments is I would take off my shoes because the house was so old that like if I wanted to get some juicy stuff, they would hear me coming. So I would take off my shoes and I would just walk around in socks in the house so that I could just kind of like move quickly and smoothly and softly.
Like a ninja.
And then what happened was that I was like, okay, my shoes are gonna be right here. They're gonna be right next to the monitor. Nobody's gonna touch them. No one's gonna touch my shoes. What the fuck? I was like, I'm gonna leave them here. I'm gonna go run around the house and then whatever. I come back, gone. And I was like, and we were in the attic. And the attic is one of the most haunted spots in the whole house. Between that and the room underneath, like right next to where Adam Ray's the main character of Power Positive Murder, Ray's character, that bedroom is insanely haunted because they found a room that was a disappointment room like 3 years before we shot there. Like 3 years ago, they found that there was an air vent kind of thing from the attic that went into another room that was not in the blueprints. And when they opened it up, it was a baby crib and a bunch of like toys.
What?
And it was like terrifying. Like every time you stepped into that room, and there's footage of this, I have footage of this. Every time someone stepped into that room, they would have like this intense feeling that there was something wrong, and they would just be like, I cannot be here, and they would have to leave. That's why in the movie it's a fucking plain, it's like a wall. They had to put up a wall there because it was too intense. But also the fact that like nobody wanted to fuck around with that. Ask Debbie Rashawn if you ever do, ask Debbie Rashawn and ask Adam because they had an experience where they slept in that house. They slept
What?
the entire time of filming. They slept in that house, and they had a group chat that was basically like ghost watching because they would hear things in the middle of the night and they would be freaked out. Amanda Flowers told me that somebody tried opening the door in her room. It was like her and Jessa Flux, they were in the same room. Somebody was trying to open the door and like whoever did ran as fast as lightning down the hallway that they were in. But the only people that live there are like fucking like 77-year-old, 80-year-old people. So nobody could have ran that fast. And I was like, that's scary. And then Jessa was telling me that she would hear in the middle of the night like a sonogram, like a monogram, like one of those things, like a heart monitor kind of thing, or like a sound, like those fucking oh my god, for babies when you see the ultrasound, like an
Ultrasound,
ultrasound,
yeah.
like a woof, woof kind of thing. She
What
would
the
hear
fuck?
that. And then I remember every time Vito Trigo would come to set, there would always be a bat in his room.
A bat?
Yeah, like a physical little bat. Like
Seriously?
yeah, no idea how that would happen, but every time there would always be a bat.
That is insane.
They woke me up in the middle of the night. I remember it was me and Cass. We were in our cabin, and you saw the property. It's pretty
Yeah.
freaking
It's low, it's
low at Point
large.
A. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, so they woke us in the middle of the night. They were like, "You got to run up there," and we ran. We ran with the cameras, all in my pajamas, in my socks. Ran all the way up. Ridiculous. But yeah, no, sorry. Back to the shoes. So I left my shoes on the thing. Long story short, I did not find them until the last day of set because I was doing a fake Ghost Hunters like episode that I wanted to do for like a behind the scenes thing. And literally in the footage, we're fucking around and we're like, oh, we feel some spirits. Oh, it's so crazy. And then I look down and then the shoes were there and I was like, okay, not a bit, guys. not a bit. I just found my shoes, and
Oh,
we had
that's
been
fucking
looking all
creepy.
over for these up and down forever. And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? It was so scary. I was like, no, that was that was terrifying. But yeah, there's a lot of ghost stories on set for sure.
All right, you didn't disappoint with that one, but I mean, now since we are talking about that, now why don't we get into your work with Troma, if you don't mind?
Yeah, of course.
What film initially got you interested in Troma? Like, how did you even become, how did that come to fruition? Because I actually, again, I'm going to date myself. I was in probably middle school, and there used to be an old show called USA Up All Night, and they would play Troma movies all the time with Gilbert Gottfried and Rhonda Shear. That was my first exposure, like Nukem High and Toxie and all that stuff, and Kabuki Man. But that was many, many years ago. But I mean, apparently yours is probably going to be different, I'd imagine. Hmm.
Well, that's the common story I always hear. So
Oh, for
that's
real?
I
I
really
always
need to.
thought I
Yeah, a
always
lot of
felt like
people
I was
always
kind of an oddball because, like,
no, but I'm always curious because now I need to watch that or like know what that is.
well, it
I'm a
was
little
tough
intrigued.
because that on the same weekend you had USA Up All Night, and Gilbert and Rhonda would play Troma movies. But then on the opposite channel, on I think it was TNT, you had Joe Bob with Monster Vision. So like I was flipping back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and
Oh
because
my
they were all
god,
both playing like the best shit ever.
that's amazing! I would fucking kill for that. That is
And when I was a
amazing.
kid, I grew up. What initially got me into horror was there was a dude named my local horror host named Chili Billy, and when I was a kid, my best memories of being a kid was laying in front of the TV and they would play all cool shit. Like that's where I've seen the original Night of the Living Dead. They even played Motel Hell when I was a kid, and I seen all that stuff at a very early age. And it was so late at night that most of it wasn't on, wasn't truncated because nobody's up at 1 in the morning, so they just kind of just let it go.
Yeah, they're like, oh, whatever happens,
They're like,
happens.
yeah, but yeah, what is yours? Like, how did you first get involved?
So my origin story is, again, I will probably date myself here. It was when Netflix became a streaming service instead of doing DVDs anymore.
Oh, I remember that.
So summer, that summer, I used to rent from Netflix. I would do like the DVD thing, whatever. But then I
Oh
was all
yeah.
like, oh my God, they have it on streaming and I could watch it with my Xbox Live friends. So I had a 360 and I would watch so many fucking movies. But the only two movies that came out at the time that were in like the small catalog of like streaming on Netflix movies were Toxic Avenger
Oh, nice.
and Cannibal the Musical.
Nice.
And I always talk about this and I will never know. And I think every day, every time I do repeat the story, I think little by little, I think the first trauma movie I saw was Cannibal the Musical because I grew up with a lot of South Park.
Oh, I still watch
And I
that.
was all like, well, fucking, I gotta watch this. Come on.
Absolutely.
So I think it was Cannibal the Musical, but I think again seeing Toxie was like the first Toxie. I was like, oh my god, I need to make movies like this. I was like, this is where I belong. This is what I need to do. Like fuck all this other like drama shit. Fuck trying to do like I saw Shakespeare in Love and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be a great writer. Fuck that. I was like, fuck this. I want to be a toxic. I want to be involved in this shit. I want to fucking blow up some kid's head. Are you kidding me? I was like, this is amazing. This is great. This is exactly what movies should be. And I had so much fun. I was like, fuck, yes. But then after that, I never really looked for trauma movies. I was more of like a traditional, like, I'm going to watch all The Godfather, like fucking, like all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of like in the back burner. And then it wasn't until Shakespeare's Shitstorm that I was like, fuck, I got to go back to my roots, man. Like, I really, like, what am I doing? What and then talking to Lloyd when I met him the first time, I was like 21, 22. I think I was like 20. Something
Well, that
like that.
actually leads me to my next question. I was going to ask you, how did you get to become part of the Troma team?
I'll tell you how I almost did, and then I fucking pussied out like a bitch. When I was 20, 21, I met Lloyd at the New York City Comic Con, 2017. And right, that's I don't know how old I am. I don't know how old I am. Okay, but I I was at Comic Con and I saw him at a booth and I was like, oh my god, I love the Toxic Avenger. I fucking love you. I love you and everything that you do. You were so fun. Your cameo in Cell is amazing. Like all this stuff. And he was all like, "Oh, you make movies?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's all like, "Well, send them. We'll watch them." And I was like, "No, no, you won't. Don't. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not good enough." I literally was like, "I'm not good enough. I'm not gonna send you my shit at the time because the shit that I was making was not that great. It was whatever. I mean, it's still up and it's, a part of you, obviously, but it's like I
I
was like,
get it.
no, I'm not gonna show this to Lloyd Kaufman, president of Troma Entertainment and the creator of Toxic Avenger. What? That's not gonna happen. But he was like, no, seriously, please, here's my email. Send it to me. Send me anything that you have. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I was like, oh my God. I never did. I never did. I absolutely never did. I was like, nope. I was like, I am too pussy and I am not worthy. I was like, not yet. And then fast forward to I'm like, what am I? I'm like 24. I'm like, yeah, it's been 3 years, I think. It's been 3 years? It's been 3 years. It's gonna be 3 years. It's actually been 3 years. Oh my God. It's been 3 years since I've been with Troma. So flashback, fast forward to Shakespeare Shitstorm. Shakespeare Shitstorm comes out. The screening that I was gonna go to was on 420, hell yeah. And it was right after my birthday, and I was like, fuck yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I love Lloyd. We gotta go see this Troma movie. Like, we gotta do this and that. And I was like, oh my God, maybe Lloyd will remember me because it was supposed to be a Q&A with Lloyd. It turns out that was the week that Lloyd got COVID.
Oh,
And none of the cast and crew were there except for Brandon Basson. And Brandon is the writer of Shakespeare Shitstorm. So it was him and Dylan Mars Greenberg. And they did a Q&A, and me being the queen of Q&As, I asked a question and I was like, oh, how did you adapt this, whatever. And then because like I'm a writer first and foremost, editor, but yes, I'm a writer. But I talked to Brandon afterwards and I was all like, hey man, I'm a writer, you're a writer, how did you get involved with Troma? And he's all like, oh yeah, no, it's easy, just go up and talk to them. And I was all like, yeah, but like, how did you, like, I was like, how did you get into it? And then he's like, well, I have a course. I have like a screenwriting course if you want to take it. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. And then I saw the price and I was like, oh my God, no. And then I was like, not gonna happen, but really cool. And then he was all like, hey, I'm working on this movie right now. It's called Bring on the Damned. If you want to do behind the scenes photography for it. And I was like, hell yeah. And then I met Doug Sackman I met Doug there. And then I met Mia, and I met all these people, and I was like, oh my God. And then I met Garrett, who was Lloyd's assistant at the time. And we became friends instantly because we both had cigarette cases. And then from there, he was like, I'm Lloyd's assistant. And then he was all like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm working with Brandon on his movie. And he's all like, what if you didn't do that and you came to the office? And I was like, fuck, okay, sure. And then I started as an observer. And then from doing the observer stuff, I told them that I was an editor, that I know how to edit. And then they gave me the Trobania uh, behind the scenes documentary that somebody did not finish editing. And they were like, can you finish this? And I was like, yes. And then I started doing all of the special features for Shakespeare Shitstorm, slowly but
nice.
surely. So the Blu-ray will happen,
I,
but
I can't wait, man. I
I don't
can't
know
wait
when.
for
I
that.
just know that I did a shit ton of the fucking special features. I did the auditions. I did that behind the scenes doc.
Oh,
I
nice.
did some other stuff that was like a slideshow kind of thing that kind of fell through. I did a couple of ads. It was ridiculous, but I was still not getting paid. I was like, I'm just chilling. I was a bartender. I was bartending all the time. So I was like, oh, I don't have time to like come whatever. But then slowly but surely they were like, well, we got this movie coming up, Power Positive Murder. Do you want to like edit it? And I was like, yeah, what the fuck? Of course. And now we're here. And now that's it.
Well, let me ask you this. What's your favorite part thus far of being on the trauma team, and what is the most demanding part?
Oh my God. I think they go hand in hand and it's just working with Lloyd. Being with Lloyd, like, literally is such an honor, but it also drives me up the fucking wall. I love him. I love him so much. I will never say a bad thing about this man. He is
Same.
through and through a genius. He really is. And he is such a cinephile that it is insane. I remember the first time we hung out. It was after doing the Shakespeare Shitstorm Blu-ray opening. And it was with him and Zach Amico. And we're coming out of the studio. And I was like, hey, my favorite bar is around the block. Do you want to like grab a drink or something? And he's like, as long as you buy the cigarettes. And I was like, what? Okay, shit. So we're hanging out and we're talking about old TCM movies. Now, I'm named after Sabrina with Humphrey Bogart and, oh my God, Audrey Hepburn. So I told him that, and then we started going down the line. He's talking about John Ford, and I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, we're talking fucking Billy Wilder, obviously. And then we're talking like all of these, and like Douglas Sirk, and we're talking all of these old ass movies. And I was like, I love these movies because like I mean, that's cinema, but it's also like, that's the history of this whole fucking thing that we're a part of, you know? And he could talk forever, 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 forever about all these old movies. So, cut to now, we're still talking about all these fucking movies. And I'm like, it's great, but I'm like, dude, he watches noirs like they're candy. He sits through, I think, like 5 movies a day. If you look at his letterbox, he watches like at least like 3 movies a day.
That's amazing.
It is insane. It is actually genuinely insane what he does. But he is a genius and I love him. But the fun thing about being in Troma is when him and I are both tired and we're like 6 hours into editing this movie and we're both getting high because he loves getting high. He loves his little weed pens and I'm sharing my weed pen and we're both getting high and we're both like, fuck it, man. Like, let's just get this scene out of here. Like, like we're just like who fucking cares? Like, who's gonna fucking miss this? Like we're just there and we're just shooting the shit. But Heath is one of the lights of my life and truly is
Mm.
like a mentor I cannot even like dream of even having and I have that and he is such an amazing person but that's it. I mean, the most demanding thing is just working on this movie, but it's worth it because I love this movie and I love Lloyd and this is through and through what I truly believe the power of positive murder really is. It's not a Troma movie. This is a Lloyd Kaufman film, and it is going to be amazing, I think.
Do you really believe Lloyd when he says it's going to be his last movie? I don't know anybody that does.
I can't say. I cannot say. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I think everybody doesn't believe that. But well, let me ask you this: what do you feel is the most underappreciated trauma film
Ooh, that Lloyd is made, or just in general?
in general?
In general, blondes have more guns.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
Blondes have more guns is so stupid and fun. Also, pigs, or like the 12th pig. Oh my god, I saw that recently. That shit is good. Another one that I saw, girls. Sorry, I have to stop them real quick. Ladies, they're making noises. I don't know if you heard that. They're making noises. Um, we just saw Butt Crack for the first time.
oh, I seen
That's
that
a
back
great
in the
movie.
day. That was cool. I like that.
That was fun. Another one that's underrated. Oh my God, the first movie. So, and this goes to anyone. If you ever come to the trauma office, it is a rule. You do the tour, and then we give you a DVD.
I'll be
If you
honest with you, man. I've been trying to get there my whole life. Like I've yet to be there.
come, what the fuck? Come anytime.
That and I need to see the Ghostbusters Firehouse. That's my two big. That's the two holy grail things on my list. So
You'll be right by both of the places I worked at. Perfect. There
no
you go.
shit.
You got to do that. Yeah, the first DVD that I got was Clown Camp Massacre.
Oh, sweet. That's
That
awesome.
movie is fucking amazing. They were like, "Oh, you don't want to take Kabuki Man or Class of Nuke 'Em High?" I was like, "No, Clown Camp Massacre. What the fuck is that about? I wonder what that could be."
Did you ever see
Great movie.
Unspeakable? I always think that's kind of an underrated one.
I have not seen that one.
That one's cool. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing is that there's so many fucking movies. It's like, oh my god, yeah, Eve's Beach Fantasy. What the hell? Like, what am I gonna like? There's so there's so many. But what we started doing at the office is we started doing these movie nights where we kind of close all those blind spots of like things that we haven't seen.
I like, was it Fat Guy Goes Nutsoid? That one's pretty good.
Yes, I've heard that one. Or Fatty Drives the Bus. I still haven't seen that one.
They played that on Up All Night back in the day. I remember. That's where I
Hell
seen a
yeah.
lot of that crazy stuff.
Yeah, or Big Gus, What's the Fuss?
Oh yeah, that wasn't that like his first directed film?
Yes.
Yeah,
And he
it's
hated it because I think he did it in Israel and he was all like, I fucking hate filming here. And I'm like, why did you do it then? What the fuck? It's so silly.
my favorite book of all time is his everything I need to know I learned from making a Toxic Avenger. Like I've
Yes.
went through so many different copies. I get mine here. It just looks like it's been through the war, but like it's my favorite book of all time. It has everything.
Yes.
It has heart. It has information, knowledge. Like just that's like the closest thing I've read that like you really kind of feel like Lloyd. Like and it's I just that's I can't even talk enough about it. But I got a couple more for you before I let you go. I don't want to talk to you till midnight here, but let's talk a little bit about the newest Troma classic that you're working on, The Power of Positive Murder. I know you're knee deep in editing it. Can you tell me how it's going at least? I know you can't really give me a lot of details, but how's it going?
I can tell you anything. I don't care. Lloyd
Good.
Lloyd will probably at the end of this, he will
Good.
probably
When's it
be like,
coming out?
send the movie. Huh?
When's it coming out?
Oh, that's up to Lloyd. That
Oh,
is all up to Lloyd. That's all. I think the movie's done. The movie's been done. The movie has
really?
been done for like a couple of months,
No
and now
shit.
Lloyd is just fucking around with it, and he's
Oh,
trying to do different things.
huh.
Like the most recent thing, which probably will be in the movie by the time this comes out, and it's and I'll probably take I'll go back to this podcast. This is recorded. I'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe I said that. But um, last Wednesday, yeah, this past Wednesday, we filmed an opening. We filmed an intro for the movie
Oh,
because fucking Lloyd watched Girl Can't Have It, which is a James Mansfield movie back in like 55. And he was all like, we gotta do the same opening that they did. And I was like, Lloyd, we don't have the same camera that we used on set. It's gonna be different. And he's like, fuck it. And I'm like, all right. So we're fucking shooting this thing.
that's classic
And
Lloyd, though. That's great.
he's all like, I don't care. Who's gonna notice? I'm like, anyone that is gonna see it in theaters, okay? But you know, Lloyd is Lloyd. Lloyd is gonna do whatever he wants, and he's just doing focus groups right now. So it's always changing. Like what we think now is gonna be it is probably not gonna be it. And I think it's. I mean, nothing really has changed. The only thing I need right now is just music, but we need to lock down everything before we give it to the music person because the guy is like antsy. He's like, guys, when is it going to be ready? And I'm all like, I thought it was ready. And then Lloyd was like, let's put this scene in. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm thinking, I'm genuinely thinking that the movie should be picture locked definitely before the summer. It's got to be like May. And then we'll
So
have
you think
to,
you'll actually see screenings this year, sometime?
oh, yeah, it's going to be, well, insider info. We will be screening it for Troma Dance this year.
No shit.
We're going to be screening it for Troma Dance this year. Yep.
I guess I'm coming to Troma Dance this year.
You gotta come. You gotta come through, man. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a big, big year this year. It's gonna be crazy.
Maybe people will recognize the Jelly Donut Man.
Yes. Which can you do me a favor actually? And I'll put this in the podcast, but also you could just actually genuinely. Can you take can you take a video of yourself eating a jelly donut? Because for the life of me, they did not fucking get that on set, and I'm so pissed off. I cannot believe that they did not get you just eating a jelly donut.
I mean, I think I actually have audition tapes of me doing it, but if in full like my whole costume. But if you want me to, I don't think it'd be the same if I'm just doing it in my plain clothes. I
I
mean,
don't care. I'm reusing footage of Troma's War at this point. I don't care how quality is. Please send it
no, the
to me.
quality is good. I just mean I think I have actually pretty good footage of me when I sent in auditions because initially I tried out for Bill Whedon's part and then
Mhm.
he ended up getting it because of course because he's fucking Bill Whedon. But I mean he's amazing of course. But which I would have did the same thing. But then it was funny. My friend Veda actually hit me up and was like, "We have just the part for you. How do you feel about embarrassing yourself and being a
Yeah.
complete jackass?" I'm like, I do all that time. I do that shit all the time for free. I of course I'll do that. Like, well, not only that, dude, I got to live out my lifelong dream of A, being in a trauma movie, and B, getting fucking killed in a trauma movie. If I went in a time machine and I told fucking like middle school me, I would have been like, fuck you. There's no way. And it's never happened. Or the fact that I even like, on a personal note, no, love Lloyd and get to actually, have interacted with him all the time, I wouldn't have believed myself. I'd be like, there's no way, but like I've
Yeah.
met so many, great people through the experience, and like I couldn't be happier, man. I finally crossed that shit off my bucket list, and I feel like it came out pretty cool. Like I've yet to really see it, but I mean,
Yes. It is cool. It is cool. It is cool. It is there.
and my buddy
But
Wheels, I feel like his shit came out pretty cool because I was watching him film that shit whenever she was slicing his throat and all that stuff.
yeah. That was fun. That's gonna be in there, but again, I mean like I'll tell you this, I think it's gonna be more so a special feature because it's just, just how it goes. But you're definitely in it. I know that for a fact. I know that because I'm asking you because I need more of you actually in the film. So please send me you eating a jelly donut. And then if you could also send me footage of you wiping your mouth with the said jelly donut with pages of the Bible, then we got a movie.
Oh,
We got the movie. Then it's done.
the only problem with that is I half of my costume's still at Burnbrae Manor.
Oh no, you're fine. I just need your mouth.
Oh, that's
Just need
it.
your mouth. Yeah.
Oh well, fuck. I could easily do that.
You do
I
it
tell
like
you what,
right after this.
I'll send you. Well, shit, I don't have a jelly donut handy.
I,
I tell you what, I
We'll
could
make
get.
it happen this
We'll
weekend.
make it happen this weekend. But
yes, please. Thank you. That would
yeah, I'll
be
definitely.
much
But I'll
appreciated.
send you the fucking shit I was telling you about earlier about me eating the jelly donut. But I'll definitely get the close up of me doing all that other shit this weekend, and I'll have it to you by at least Monday. So
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no rush, no rush. The movie is not going to come out anytime soon. But we are trying. I mean, I'm trying to push Lloyd into getting it out at least by the end of the year. I mean, like it's such a big year for Troma with fucking the new reboot coming out or the reimagining
yeah,
or the comic book or Toxic Crusaders and like all this other stuff. There's so much going on in Troma right now that it is insane. We got to keep the momentum going because it
I
is
agree, man.
so
I think
high.
once that reboot hits, that's really going to broaden the gap between of my generation and the young generation. There, people are going to rediscover all that stuff. People are always like, I myself, I'm kind of guilty of it, where I'm like, man, I don't like remakes, but like whenever you have that, and that's the product of it, I think it's a good thing. So I mean, I'm
True.
interested. I'm kind of curious to see because I like making Blair and I like Green Room, and I'm curious to see what he does with it. I think it'll be cool. So.
Same. I love Macon Blair, and I was like, oh my god, it's fucking Macon
That's what I was
Blair.
like. If anybody could do it, he would be the dude to choose. Because I mean, he loved. I know he's been a Troma fan his whole life, like me and you. And I mean, I know that's the dude to do it. Like I wouldn't want somebody that never heard of Troma or like has no exposure to it, and they just come in like that dude. It was a passion project for, and that's the motherfucker you want doing anything like that. So I mean, I'm going with an open mind. So
Yeah, I'm going in. I'm going in with high hopes, and I'm
I hear
I'm
people
even
complaining
even
though,
in
man, but I really love the fact that they kept Peter Dinklage small in it. I think that's fucking brilliant.
good. Keep him. Fuck it.
I
Peter
think
Dinklage
it's
is
fucking funny, man. Like, why would you not? Like, I mean,
it's great. He's a Shakespearean actor. Let him go. Let him do his thing. It's gonna be awesome. Him, Elijah Wood. I'm excited to
oh
see
yeah, dude, I
Kevin
love him.
Bacon. Like, what the fuck is gonna? I have no idea what this movie's about. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm so excited for it. I'm gonna lose my mind. I am wishing and praying and knocking on all woods possible. Yeah, exactly. Knocking on all woods possible that like Lloyd will take me to the premiere, please. I'm wishing it into the world right now. If that would be so sick. I don't think it'll happen, but it would
I
be
got
really
two
sick.
more quick questions for you, and I'll let you go. I promise.
Yes,
First
no, go,
is
go, go. I'm so sorry for yapping.
no. This is great. I
It's your
seriously,
fault. You make me yap. It's you. It's you.
what's the one thing you could say, the most valuable thing that you've learned from Lloyd?
Oh my god. This is what I mean, man. You have like really good questions. Fuck.
I take this shit seriously, man. I don't.
Good, yeah, dude. Fucking this, other podcast I was on, they were like, "What's your favorite color?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Oh man, I started writing this shit like a week ago.
Good. Thank you, thank you. Oh my god. Thing that I learned, honestly, I think patience
Hmm.
and patience and just things will fall into place when like it'll happen.
Hmm.
Like things will happen when they need to happen. Lloyd really has really instilled in me that like, especially editing through this, is that yeah, it's not gonna make sense now, but when you watch the movie again, another like month from now, you're gonna be like, oh, that's what you mean. What happens for me and when I try to explain to people is that like interpreting Lloyd is like interpreting a burning bush, basically. It's like I don't know what the fuck you're saying right now, but I get it, and it's gonna all make sense. And he's very not much a patient person,
I
but
see now on
being
the set.
through, he's definitely not.
I was
But
on the receiving end of it a little bit.
except I am too sometimes, and it's like but that's the thing. It's like I know he is working it out himself because at the end of the day, he himself is a human being that
Yeah,
is not gonna have all the answers, and he's also figuring it out. That's what I said. Like going into this, this is his first film where it's black and white. It's a noir. It's something that he loves, that he's always wanted to pay homage to, and now it's happening. And he's just like, it's a lot of firsts for him. It's a lot of firsts for me. It's a lot of firsts for a lot of things, for a lot of people. But I think what's really interesting is that he's really patient with like people not getting it now, and then once he like is like, all right, but do you get it now? It's like, oh fuck, you were so right this entire time. Holy shit. So I think that definitely patience with other people. And also another thing that Lloyd has really taught me is like, dude, say your shit, man. Be honest with what you want and be honest with who you talk to. If something is shit, tell them it's shit. If something is not, like, you know what I mean? It's like just tell them honestly and then tell them up front and don't dick him around because he does not have time for that. And I think I really admire that about Lloyd for sure.
I totally get that. Lastly, why do you think Troma's had the longevity it's had over all the years?
Oh my god. I believe the spirit of trauma goes hand in hand with what happens in in the age of filmmaking and like filmmaking in the landscape of filmmaking always because we're always like the parking lot kids, if that makes sense. Like
Oh
we're
yeah,
not gonna get into the show, we'll hear the show, but we're gonna get fucking blasted in the goddamn parking lot, or we're gonna do barbecues out in the street, we're gonna fucking tailgate. It's that punk DIY energy. And I think because of the fact that especially now that because film is so accessible, but not to the level of like accessibility that doors are opening. If anything, doors are closing and shutting down forever. And there will never be that kind of like rapport than it was like in the 90s or like the 70s, please, you know? But I think what will always happen is that there's always going to be that rebellious spirit of like, I don't want to be these people. I want to be these guys. These guys fucking rock. I want to be with the people that call me family. I want to be with the people that like at the end of the day, I'm covered in blood and they're helping me get it out of my hair. I know that like that's who I want to be a part of. I like, and that's the thing is that like there's always going to be people that will take it seriously and good. We need those people because without you making these contents like these fucking marvels and these like all these other things and you're shutting down all of these other avenues, what's going to happen today is that creatives and artists are always going to create no matter what. They're always whatever you do, they will fucking make it with like stone and cardboard. It'll always happen. And I think that's why it's so successful for 50 years is because the spirit of DIY and the spirit of punk and the spirit of like, fuck it, make your damn movie. Make your own damn movie. I think that's the mantra that really does stick to generations that even don't even know Lloyd, that don't even know what he's about. But he's everyone's favorite director. So at the end of the day, it all goes to Lloyd. It all, goes back to Lloyd. But I think that again, the land like just the landscape of filmmaking there will always be a backlot of people fucking lot lizarding around and chewing on their shoes and putting on blood and calling it a day, man. That's what it is.
well there you have it. I can't thank you enough, Sabrina. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you, man. And I tell you what, hope you could come back again once it's out and we could talk a little bit more. How's that?
I'll talk post when the movie comes out.
Perfect.
That'll be the
Thank you so
perfect
much.
full circle. So it'll be the beginning of the year and then I'll check back at the end of the year.
Sounds great. We will see you again. Thanks for coming on, and it was a pleasure chatting with you. Don't be a stranger. Let's do this again soon.
Yes, please, let's chat for sure.
Peace and
Thank you
love.
so
Peace and
much.
love.
Peace. Thank you.